furnished room. In one corner was an old stove. In the centre of the room was a trapdoor leading to a hole in the ground that served as a storm shelter. There was a table, 3 or 4 chairs, and 2 beds. The larger bed was for Uncle Henry and Aunt Em. The small bed was for a child. They had no children of their own, but in their latter years they took in a young orphan named Dorothy. Dorothy was not grey. The book doesn't tell us how she became an orphan, but despite her circumstances, she still had the gift of laughter. When Aunt Em would hear Dorothy laugh, it so surprised her that she would scream and put her hand over her heart as if the noise was a health hazard. Baum describes Aunt Em this way. She was thin and gaunt and never smiled now. The implication is clear. She used to laugh, but something or a series of somethings had extinguished her joy. Aunt Em no longer had time to laugh or to dream. When she looked at Dorothy, she wondered what this girl found to laugh about. For Dorothy, that was an easy question to answer. His name was Toto. In the book, Toto was a little black dog with long, silky hair and small, black, twinkling eyes, not the Cairn Terrier of the movie. He played all day, and he made Dorothy laugh. She loved him with her whole heart. As the story opens, Uncle Henry is studying the sky, which appeared even more grey than usual. A seasoned storm survivor, he knew the danger signs. As the wind began to change direction and increase in speed, he called to Aunt Em and Dorothy to take shelter immediately. Aunt Em's first thought was to protect herself, and she ran to the trapdoor. Her reaction surprises me. As a mother, my first instinct would be to protect my son, not myself. Aunt Em must have learned that there was no one out there to protect her or her dreams, so she had to take care of herself. Aunt Em opened the trapdoor and climbed into the dark hole. But Dorothy, the true mother in the scenario, would not get in without her beloved Toto. The dog was so frightened by the noise of the approaching cyclone that he'd crawled under the bed. As Dorothy struggled to grasp hold of Toto, the strangest thing happened. The house was lifted by the wind and turned around and around 3 or 4 times in the air. Then it was carried for miles as if it were as light as a feather. Dorothy realized that the hole in the floor no longer led to the shelter, but was now a gaping window to the earth far beneath her. Once she regained her balance, she sat quite still on the floor for a while, being rocked by the storm like a baby in a cradle. It was dark and quiet in the middle of the cyclone, and Dorothy felt strangely at peace, until she realized that she no longer knew where Toto was. She looked around the room for her faithful companion and realized that he had fallen through the hole. At first she thought that she had lost him, until she saw one ear sticking up through the opening. She crawled over to the opening and saw her little dog being bounced on the wind like a rubber ball. Dorothy grabbed Toto by his ear and pulled him back in the house. Holding him in her arms, she fell fast asleep. Perhaps she dreamed of what she might find if she made it all the way over the rainbow. After all, Dorothy was a dreamer. Her dreams were not dictated by her circumstances, but by her heart. Dorothy is not the only dreamer I'd like you to meet, but we must travel halfway around the world to a very different place to find our next dreamer. Mrs. Peary. I looked out of the plane window as we began our descent into Seattle, Washington. I was fascinated by the sight of Mount Rainier, covered in snow that sparkled as the sun began to set. Just outside Seattle is the headquarters of World Vision, a Christian relief and development organization serving the world's poor. I was there for the next 2 days with some of my friends to attend a symposium about how we could become more effectively involved with their work. I will confess that I was not excited about this trip. As part of a team of women called Women of Faith, I travel about 30 weekends each year and speak in arenas all across the country. The thought of one more 4-hour plane trip was not appealing. I had no idea that God was about to give me a new dream that would change my life, my heart, and my vision. During the next 48 hours, I heard many stories that left their mark on me, but the one I want to share with you here concerns Mrs. Peary. Her story came to us by Bwalya Melu, who works with World Vision in Zambia. Life is very harsh in Zambia.